Hello everyone. Today I'm gonna read the rest of The Long Face, a story from The Gnarty Gnomes of No by Jamie Rex. Here we go. I said I only wanted a winner. Don't you think it's a beautiful pony? Said Lady Gramble Fetlock. It's a bit small, was her long-faced daughter's reply. What are you gonna call it? I wasn't gonna call it anything. You've gotta give it a name, exclaimed Petty's mother. If I give it a name, I'll get attached to it, and that's not why I've got it. I don't want to love it, but I'm gonna learn to ride, and then go out and beat Jill at Gymkhana's. That's all. Very well, said Lady Gravel Fetlock. But who's gonna teach you? Hopefully the same person who's looking after it. Hopefully the same person who looks after it, said Petty. Her father's jaw dropped. I thought you were gonna look after it, he gasped. Me? Sniggered Petty. Look after that smelly thing. I'd rather die. You can have to get me a groom who can look after the horse, prepare it for competitions, and teach me how to ride. A groom! He exploded. He exploded. Yes, a horse servant. Since there was a damn straw, you must have heard on a groom. And when her father said impossible, Petunia Gramble Fetlock pushed out her lower jaw, folded her arms, sat on the floor, and growled. 9 hours later, she had herself a groom. His name was Stuart Piddle, but she called him Stu because she said that suited him best. He had a big head on a scrawny body, which made him the ideal size for a jockey. He loved horses and knew everything about them. Not that Perry cared about that. So, he said when he first arrived, you'll obviously be wanting the welfare of the horse, so come first at all times. I'll be mucking out the stable twice a day, sterilizing the bed, getting him shot and wormed and jabbed in the bed. Don't want him going lame. What have you got to feed him? I'm not bothered with food, said Petty. I don't care if his fur is matted and he's got flies in his ears. Just so long he jumps fences and beats Jill. He won't perform if he's not looked after. Okay, he said reluctantly. What shall I call him? Dog food, said Petty proudly, because that's what he'll be if he doesn't win! While Jill continued to pick up trophies, Petty made Stu get up at 4 o'clock every morning to put dog food through his faces. She checked up on them before breakfast and again in the middle of the morning. And if she felt that they were making enough progress, she would take a whip to the horse and demand more effort. And when Stu grabbed the cane and told her to stop, she wrenched it out of his grip and beat him with it, too. Once the pony was tamed, Petty climbed aboard and told Stu to teach her all she knew about riding. Because, she informed me, I shall be riding on Sunday in the last Gymkhana of the season, and I intend to win. You'll never do that, he said. It takes months of practice to jump over fences. You could hurt yourself, not to mention a horse. Then don't mention it, he said. Now, where do I start? Start. Up! And she swung her legs across the pony's neck and kicked it in the eye. She was hopeless. When she told her to grip with her knee, she complained that it hurt her back. And when he asked her to rise and fall in the saddle, she looked at him with a gimlet eye that would have withered tree bark. It's bruising my bum-bum, she said. No! Come Sunday at the gymkhana. Therefore she was woefully unprepared. Before the jumping, Dogmeat was inspired by the judges for being so perfectly presented, but when it came to the competition, success was more elusive. The little pony did its best, but it was carrying a dead weight around on its back, a sulky lump of a girl who didn't like riding, and whispering, "Come on, Dogmeat, do it for your mistress, or it's the heat-sealed can for you," which rather put him off his stride. He knocked down 3 fences, which, as far as Petty was concerned, was 3 fences too many, especially when Jill and Crumble came first again, and afterwards Jill kissed Dogmeat's long nose and told Petty that she had a lovely pony, and one day he was sure to win something. That comment, as far as Petty was concerned, was rubbing salt into the wound. When she got home, she was in a funk to end all funks. She hated it when she didn't get her own way, and this time it was the fault of this stupid pony. "Why the long face?" asked her mother, when Petty refused to get out of the car. "Stop saying that! I haven't got a long face. It looks long enough to ski off," commented her father. "It's all your fault!" She screamed. "I knew it was a bad idea to buy him." "Who?" said her mother. "Dogmeat." She kicked open the car door and stepped out into the corridor. "I'm going to get rid of him." Her parents shot out of opposite doors and grabbed an arm each. "No," said her mother. "But Julia, you can't. Stop telling me what I can and can't do," threatened Petunia, Petty, shaking herself free. "And when I've done it, if I hear one word of a telling off, I shall suck you into your graves, both of you." And then she stomped off, leaving Lord and Lady Gramble Fetlock shipwrecked in a sea of despair. "I don't know what else we can do," sobbed Petty's mother. "We can leave her alone," said her husband, "and let her learn the hard way." Petty told Stu to take Dogmeat to the pet food factory. "If it can't be Crumble, he's no good to me," she said. "He needs punishing. Get him to grind up his bones real small." "No," said Stu. "I can't do that." "You can and you will," she replied, frothing from the corners of her mouth like an agitated racehorse. She picked up a swishing cane and cracked it across the groom's back. "I can do what I like to both of yez." She chased the boy and pony from the stairwell. "And don't think I won't know if you lie to me," she shouted. "If you come back here and tell me that he's canned when he's not, I'll have you turned into pet food too." Now, Stuart Piddle might have been a simple lad. But he wasn't stupid. and more than anything else, he could not bear cruelty to animals. He could no more lead Dogmeat to the slaughterhouse than cut off his own thumb. As he walked away from Bittlethorpe Hall in the pub to the village, he passed the entrance to the haunted wood. The trunks of the silver large trees glistened white like scrubbed bones. Their branches stretched out across the forest floor like long thin fingers and entwined with others to create latticed web of secrecy. 10 meters off the path, and the wood screened its heart from passing eyes. What better place to hide a pony? Behind the barrier of silver lodge, Dogmeat would become invisible, and if he was seen, nobody would dare enter the wood for the fear of the headless horseman. Leading the pony by the reins, Stu guided through the tree line into the dapple interior, where he left it to graze on wild mushrooms. Then he turned back to Bittlethorpe Hall, where a lie on his hips to convince his mistress that her pony had passed into pet food. Imagine his surprise, therefore, when he emerged from the woods to find his mistress standing there, tapping her foot. "I knew you'd betray me," spat the girl with a long, sulky face. "Small people with big heads can't help being deceitful. Now, you're going to pay," as she cracked a cane across his shoulder blades. "Now you're gonna pay." As she cracked her cane across his shoulder blades, Stu gobbled a lie to save his skin. "I was just coming to save you," he cried. "Get you. The pony got a stone in his hoof and went lame, and I knew it wouldn't reach the pet food factory, so I tied it up in the wood where it wouldn't wander off, and I was just coming back to get the car." "You're lying," she snarled. "I followed you. I watched you look around before you went into the trees. The pony wasn't lame, and you looked shifty." She plunged into the clutch of the silver larches, brushing aside the wooden fingers. The groom gave chase, blurting out nonsense, in the hope that she would leave the pony alone. "He needs a blacksmith. If you want me to help you should go back home and phone one." By now she was beside the pony. She lashed out with her whip and watched it jump nimbly out of the way. "Doesn't seem injured to me," she said. "No," said Stuart Piddle. Yes, having run out of lies, the groom had nowhere else to go. "Oh, you're cruel," he said. "You and that ugly long face of yours should be taught to behave properly." "How dare you!" she yelled. "I don't have a long face." "Yes, you do," he said. "On a horse it would look beautiful, but not on you." But then the birds stopped singing, and in the distance a patter of hoofs ate up the forest floor. Petty and Stu stopped talking and cocked their ears to the sound of a horse galloping closer. It crashed through fallen branches and kicked up clods of earth. The blood drained from their faces as they realized what was coming. "I want to go home now," whispered Petty grumbled Fetlock. "Take me home immediately." But Stuart Piddle was rooted in the spot. "We're not going anywhere," he whispered as the thunder roared out of the forest. "God, screeched the girl. "It is," said the boy. The headless horseman's horse, a black steed with smoking breath, soared over a fallen tree as its master drew his sword. With one clean slice, he swished the blade through the groom's scrawny neck, cutting his head clean off. It somersaulted in midair and landed bloody side up in the phantom's lap, with eyelids cold and still. Petty had forgotten to breathe. She watched in stifled horror as her groom's headless body bounced off the ground like a bag of straw. The ghost then lifted Stu's head and pressed it down upon his own jagged neck. The eyes sprang open as the ghostly blood flowed through his veins. "And now for you," said the headless horseman in a voice that matched Stuart Piddle's voice in every word and tone. I'll read the rest soon. Like, sub, click bell. Bye.